Hello guys and welcome to another episode of the Watch You Want channel. Today is going to be another review about a watch the model I've already reviewed actually twice, the Seiko Turtle. This time we're talking about the Srpe07K1, also known as the King Turtle, or part of the King Turtle family. There exist three models right now. This one, the olive or grenade one, and the black dial one. The black and the olive one have this almost royal oakish texture on the dial, whereas this one is one part of the Save the Ocean edition. So what do you get when you buy this watch? You get this typical Seiko box, the outer side, but inside it gets quite interesting. You get something a little bit more sophisticated, a little more beautiful. This blue box with this black box with this blue outlining. Inside you have Save the Ocean, and it feels a little bit nicer. I know you're buying the watch because you want the watch, but still, the buying experience, I think the box is part of it, and this is way nicer. I think every Seiko should come with such a box and not those standard black boxes. So put it down here, and now let's take a look at the watch. Let's get the dimensions out of the way because people still ask, even though you can find it on the internet, of course. The thickness is 13.2 millimeters. The diameter is 14.45 millimeters. The weight is 124 grams. Other specification, of course, it's a diver. It's ISO certified. It has a screw case back, screw down crown, unidirectional rotating bezel. It has this 4R36 movement, which gives you around 41 hours of power reserve. And what else? It is an automatic with manual winding and stop seconds functions. So you can stop the second hand, and it has this date application with this magnifier, which is rather questionable or something people discuss or complain about a lot. It also has a sapphire crystal with the magnifier I mentioned, and it has some anti-reflective coating on the inner surface, and of course it has Lume bright on the hands. And those are actually the basic informations on this watch. But the thing you are interested in, and this is why you are watching my videos probably, is this the watch you want? So the Turtle is a pretty special watch. Even though it's pretty big, the most important information on this watch actually is that the lug to lug width, even though it has a diameter of 45 millimeters, the lug to lug length is 47.7 millimeters, which is rather small for a watch with such a diameter. What does this mean? Today I'm wearing one of my Sumos, the SPB 103J, and it's also a 45 millimeter watch, but the lug to lug distance is way over 50 millimeters. I think it's 52. So if you compare it, you can see the length is much bigger here. So what does this mean? If you put the Sumo on your wrist like this, you see it's rather tall. So if your wrist, my circumference is 7 inches, is not very flat but more roundish and way smaller than my wrist, you can probably see the watch going over your wrist. So if you put the Turtle on your wrist, just a second, I have this on this NATO strap, you can see it's way smaller. Let me put it just like in the correct manner on my wrist. And here you can see it. So even though it's a big watch, it's pretty wearable also for small wrists because of this very short lug to lug distance. But still, it is a big watch. So if you don't like big watches, you're not into big watches, this is not the watch for you. This is probably the watch if you want something retro, some 70s inspired, getting this Apocalypse Now vibe, and don't want to spend the 1,000 euros or bucks on the Captain Willard Seiko, then this is probably the way to go. You can get these on the gray market or what else. I mean, some sale options for around 400 euros or $400, which is pretty good, especially considering that it is priced. The MSRP is 600 euros or $600. And the watch comes with this standard Seiko rubber strap, which is very nice, very soft, but you can see it here, dust magnet. I didn't wear this watch very often, and the dust is all over the place. So if you are OCD about it, probably not the best strap. Maybe you get a different kind of silicone strap or put it on a NATO. I think this looks great on a NATO. If you want a diver, this is probably the way to go. I mean, the bezel action is pretty good. I mean, nothing to write home about, but in my opinion, a lot better than on the predecessor turtles, and also the finishing. I think it's a little bit better. The finishing overall is pretty good, I think, especially if you look here, you have polished parts, you have brush parts, and yeah, overall, the finishing, you can't really complain when it comes to finishing when we're talking about Seikos. Let's take a look at the case back. You can see that it is a special edition, Save the Ocean, that it has sapphire crystal, and yeah, that's a Seiko dive watch. The crown action is also pretty good. Winding is very smooth, and you can see it. You can have the stop seconds function, which is pretty neat. So let me put this back on the NATO and maybe compare this watch to its opponents within the Seiko family. Here you have the Turtle, another watch probably many of you have. It's the SKX, and then we have the Sumo. I have two Sumos, so I've put this on a NATO, probably it's better in comparison. So here you have them. So side by side, the 42 SKX versus the Turtle. The Turtle looks and also feels bigger on the wrist. And then again to the Sumo, this time also on a NATO. Yeah, even though the lug to lug distance is pretty narrow, the Turtle is still a big watch, also compared to the Sumo. So again, if you're not into big watches, avoid buying the Turtle. If you're interested in a nice diver and don't want to spend like more than 500, 600, 700 euros, definitely a way to go. The Lume is also pretty nice on this watch. It's different to the typical Seiko Lume Bright, because here in this case you have this blue Lume that reminds me a little of the Lume, the chroma light Rolex uses in their watches. So I hope I covered all the details. If you have any further questions, leave some comments below in the comment section. Thanks again for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. It would be so great if we can reach like 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers this year, just in order that my channel can grow. Some background information: all the watches I review so far I've bought with my own money. Those are my own watches. I don't have like biased reviews. Of course, I really like Seiko. Maybe I'm a little bit biased when it comes to Seiko. I'm just a Seikopath. But overall, I want to give you some proper information on these watches and how they feel, how they wear. And I must say, this one is a really nice watch to wear, especially in summertime with this blue dial. And yeah, the pattern is just very nice. Oh, I just missed something. Look at the 8 o'clock index. Can you see the marker? And up here, you can hear the shark fin. This is part of the Seiko Save the Ocean edition. So with this information, I'll leave you there, and hope I'll see you on the next one.